imagine you're trying to find, that one crucial email you got like a year ago, or wanting to know what your customers are really saying about your latest product. But the information is kind of buried, across social media, emails, support tickets.
Right.
Frustrating. That's the challenge of unstructured data.
Yeah.
So today we're going to break down how AWS Cloud Solutions can help you as business owners and software architects
Okay.
turn this data chaos into a source of strategic insights.
Right.
We're talking intelligence, search, visual analysis, and even predicting the future.
Wow.
So get ready to deep dive into the world of Amazon Kendra Recognition, Comprehend, and a whole lot more.
What's fascinating about this topic is that, companies are sitting on a gold mine of information.
Yeah.
But it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack, or maybe 1,000 haystacks scattered across the digital landscape.
Okay, so let's break this down using first principles thinking. What's the fundamental problem here?
The core issue is that traditional methods of data analysis were built for structured data.
Yeah.
Neat rows and columns in a database. But emails, social media, posts, images, audio recordings, that's all unstructured.
Right.
It doesn't fit neatly into a spreadsheet.
So what's the generic solution? If we could wave a magic wand, what would we want?
We'd want a way to automatically extract meaning and insights from all this messy, unstructured data.
Yeah.
Just like our brains do effortlessly.
Right.
You'd want to search intuitively, understand sentiment and context, and even predict future trends based on these insights.
And that's where AWS comes in, right?
There's that.
With a whole suite of solutions designed for this exact purpose. Let's start with the classic problem of finding the right information.
Absolutely. Imagine you could search across all your company's data regardless of format using natural language, just like you'd ask a question to a colleague.
Yeah.
That's the power of Amazon Kendra.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Kendra uses machine learning to not just match keywords, but to actually understand the meaning behind your search queries. So if you search for customer feedback on product X, Kendra will understand synonyms-related concepts and even pull information from tables and images.
So you're saying it's not just about finding files with the words customer feedback and product X, but about truly understanding the intent of my search.
Exactly. And this means you can find relevant information even if it's not explicitly stated in the documents.
Okay.
For example, Kendra could find a customer support email complaining about a feature of product X, even if the product name isn't mentioned directly.
That's powerful. So how does this translate to real-world benefits for businesses?
Think about onboarding new employees.
Right.
With Kendra, they can quickly access the information they need regardless of where it's stored. Or imagine a sales team instantly finding relevant case studies and proposals tailored to a client's industry. The time saved and the ability to make data-driven decisions quickly are huge advantages.
Okay, I see how Kendra could be a game changer for information retrieval. But what about the insights buried in visual data? We all know a picture could be worth 1,000 words, but how do you actually analyze images at scale?
That's where Amazon Recognition comes in. Imagine being able to automatically detect objects, faces, emotions, and even inappropriate content in images and videos.
Hold on. It can detect emotions.
Yeah.
That sounds incredibly sophisticated. Is it really that accurate?
Recognition uses deep learning models trained on massive datasets.
Yeah.
And it's constantly learning and improving, while no technology is perfect.
Right.
Recognition's accuracy for things like object detection and facial recognition is quite impressive.
Okay, but how would a business actually use this? Give me a concrete example.
Let's say you're a retailer. Recognition could analyze security camera footage to track customer traffic patterns in your store, helping you optimize layout and staffing. Or it could be used to identify popular products based on how often they appear in social media images.
So it's not just about security or content moderation, but about extracting real business intelligence from visual data.
Absolutely. And the applications are constantly expanding. I recently read about a company using recognition to analyze facial expressions in focus groups to get a deeper understanding of customer reactions to new products.
But that's fascinating. It's like gaining a whole new level of understanding from visual data that was previously untapped.
Exactly. And this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Well, I'm already seeing how AWS is turning science fiction into reality.
Yeah.
But we've talked about search and images. What about all the text data out there? Emails, social media posts, documents. How do we make sense of it all?
That's where Amazon Comprehend comes in. It's all about natural language processing, essentially teaching computers to understand human language.
Okay, but how does that actually work in practice?
Think about analyzing customer reviews. Comprehend can automatically detect the sentiment, positive, negative, or neutral, and even identify specific aspects customers are praising or complaining about.
So instead of manually reading through thousands of reviews, a company could get a real-time dashboard showing overall sentiment and key themes.
Precisely. And this insight can be used to improve products, target marketing campaigns, or even proactively address customer service issues before they escalate.
I see how that's valuable.
Yeah.
But beyond sentiment analysis, what else can Comprehend do?
It can extract key phrases, identify entities like people and organizations, and even detect the language being used.
So you could analyze a news article and instantly know the main topics, who's involved, and the overall tone of the piece.
Exactly. It's like having a super-powered research assistant who can summarize and analyze vast amounts of text in seconds.
This is mind-blowing. But there's still one more data challenge I want to address. What about all those documents, invoices, contracts, forms that are still trapped in paper or PDF format?
That's where Amazon Text Track comes in. It's like having a digital assistant that can read and understand documents just like a human.
Okay, but don't we already have OCR, optical character recognition, for that?
TextTrack goes way beyond basic OCR. It uses machine learning to not just convert images to text, but to actually understand the structure of the document.
Okay.
It can identify tables, forms, and key data points like names, dates, and amounts.
So instead of manually entering data from invoices, a company could use TextTrack to automate that entire process.
Exactly. Think about the time and cost savings, not to mention the reduction in errors. And this is just one example.
I'm starting to see a pattern here. AWS is taking all these manual, time-consuming data tasks and automating them with intelligent solutions.
That's the power of cloud computing and machine learning. And we're just getting started.
Well, I'm hooked. What other data adventures await us in this deep dive?
Let's move from text and images to the world of audio. Imagine being able to analyze spoken words with the same level of detail as written text.
Intriguing. Tell me more.
Think about all the information contained in customer service calls, meeting recordings, podcasts. Amazon Transcribe can convert all that spoken content into text, making it searchable, analyzable, and actionable.
So a company could analyze customer service calls to identify common pain points or track the effectiveness of sales scripts.
Exactly. And because Transcribe can identify different speakers, you can even analyze conversations to understand the dynamics between participants.
This is amazing. It's like opening up a whole new dimension of data that was previously hidden.
And we're just getting started with the world of audio and AWS.
So I'm on the edge of my seat. What other audio wonders does AWS have in store for us?
Let's shift from understanding speech to creating it. Imagine being able to convert any text into natural-sounding speech with just a few clicks.
Now that sounds like something out of a science fiction movie.
But it's real, and it's called Amazon Polly.
Polly. As in Polly wants a cracker.
You got it.
Hmm.
But this Polly is much more sophisticated. It uses advanced neural networks to generate human-like speech that's incredibly realistic.
So it's not just those robotic monotone voices we're used to hearing from text-to-speech software.
Not at all. Polly can create expressive speech with different voices, accents, and even emotions. You can tailor the output to match your brand and your audience.
This is mind-blowing. I'm already imagining the possibilities.
And we've only just begun to explore the potential of AWS data solutions. Buckle up, we've got a lot more ground to cover. Welcome back to our deep dive into how AWS is changing the game for business owners and software architects. Before we jumped into the break, we were talking about Polly Amazon's text-to-speech service.
I'm still reeling from the fact that we can create such realistic speech from text now. It's like having a whole voiceover team on demand.
And that's just one application. Think about creating accessible versions of your website content for visually impaired users, or generating personalized audio messages for customers, or even building interactive voice response systems that sound natural and engaging.
It's incredible to think how this technology can be used to create more inclusive and engaging experiences for everyone. But let's switch gears for a moment and talk about something that's top of mind for many business owners: how to create more personalized customer experiences.
You're right, personalization is key in today's competitive landscape. And that's where Amazon Personalize comes into play.
We talked about personalized briefly in the first part, but I'd love to hear more about how it actually works. Does it really live up to the hype?
Think of Personalize as a data scientist dedicated to understanding your customers' individual preferences. It uses machine learning to analyze their past behavior, what they've viewed, purchased, clicked on, and then uses that information to predict what they're most likely to be interested in next.
So it's not just about recommending the most popular items. It's about tailoring suggestions to each individual user.
Exactly. Imagine an e-commerce site that recommends products based not just on browsing history, but also on purchase history ratings and even demographic information. That's the level of granularity we're talking about.
That sounds incredibly powerful, but also a bit complex to set up.
That's the beauty of AWS. They've made personalized surprisingly easy to use. You don't need a team of data scientists to get started. There are pre-built recipes and intuitive tools that guide you through the process.
So even a small business could implement this kind of sophisticated personalization.
Absolutely. And the results can be significant. We're talking increased customer engagement, higher conversion rates, and ultimately greater revenue.
Okay. Oh, personalization is definitely the future of customer experience. It sounds like AWS is making it accessible to everyone.
They certainly are. And this focus on accessibility and ease of use is something we see across their data solutions.
Speaking of which, let's circle back to a topic we touched on earlier, document processing. I know a lot of businesses, especially those in industries like healthcare or finance, are still dealing with mountains of paperwork.
You're right, and that's where Amazon Textract comes in. We mentioned it briefly before, but it's worth diving a little deeper.
I remember you saying it goes beyond basic OCR, but I'm still not quite sure what that means in practice.
Think of it this way. Traditional OCR can convert an image of text into machine-readable text, but it doesn't understand the meaning of that text or how it's structured within the document,
So it's just a jumble of words.
essentially. But Textract uses machine learning to actually understand the layout and context of a document. It can identify tables, forms, and key data points like names, dates, and amounts.
So instead of manually entering data from invoices or contracts, a company could use Textract to automate that entire process.
Precisely. And because it understands the structure of the document, it can extract the data in a much higher level of accuracy than traditional OCR.
That's huge. Think about the time and cost savings, not to mention the reduction in errors.
Exactly. And this is just one example. Textract can be used to digitize medical records, process loan applications, analyze legal documents. The possibilities are vast.
I'm starting to see a pattern here.
Mm.
AWS is taking all these complex, time-consuming tasks and making them simple and efficient with the power of machine learning.
That's the beauty of it. And we're only just scratching the surface of what's possible.
Speaking of scratching the surface, we talked about converting speech to text with Amazon Transcribe, but is there a way to go the other way around?
You're thinking of Amazon Poly, right?
Yes. I'm really curious to learn more about how this text-to-speech service works.
It's fascinating, actually. Poly leverages the power of deep learning to synthesize speech that sounds incredibly human-like. We're not talking about the robotic voices of the past. Poly can create speech with natural intonation, rhythm, and even emotion.
So you're telling me I can have any text read aloud in a voice that sounds like a real person?
Exactly. And you can choose from a wide variety of voices, male, female, different accents, even different languages. You can customize the output to match your brand and your audience.
This is mind-blowing. I'm already imagining the possibilities creating engaging audio versions of website content, generating personalized messages for customers, or even building interactive voice response systems that sound natural and engaging.
You're hitting on all the key applications. Poly is making audio content creation more accessible and affordable than ever before.
This is incredible. It's like we're stepping into the future of human-computer interaction.
And that future is being shaped by AWS in many ways.
Speaking of which, you mentioned earlier that we were just scratching the surface of what's possible with AWS data solutions. What else is out there that our listeners should know about?
Well, we've talked about understanding data, searching it, analyzing it, extracting insights. But what if we could use that data to predict the future?
Now, that's getting really futuristic.
But it's not science fiction. It's the power of predictive analytics, and AWS has a service for that Amazon forecast.
Forecast. We touched upon it briefly in the first part, but I'd love to dive deeper into how it can help businesses make better decisions based on data-driven predictions.
Think of forecast as a crystal ball for your business, but one powered by cutting-edge machine learning algorithms. It takes historical data sales figures, website traffic inventory levels, anything that can be tracked over time, and uses it to predict future trends and outcomes.
Okay, but don't businesses already do forecasting? What makes forecast different?
Traditional forecasting methods often rely on simple statistical models that can't capture the complexity of real-world business dynamics. Forecast, on the other hand, uses machine learning to identify patterns and relationships in your data that you might not even be aware of.
So it's like having a team of data scientists working behind the scenes, constantly analyzing your data and refining its predictions.
Exactly. And it can take into account a wide range of factors, including seasonality trends and even external events like economic indicators or weather patterns.
That sounds incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
What kind of things can businesses predict with forecast?
Almost anything that can be measured over time. You can predict future sales inventory needs, customer demand, even potential risks and opportunities.
This is game-changing stuff.
Yeah.
It's like having a glimpse into the future, allowing businesses to make more informed decisions and stay ahead of the competition.
And the best part is AWS has made forecasts incredibly easy to use. You don't need a PhD in statistics to get started. They provide pre-built templates and intuitive tools that guide you through the process.
So even small businesses can leverage the power of predictive analytics.
Absolutely. AWS is committed to democratizing access to these powerful tools, making it possible for businesses of all sizes to benefit from data-driven insights.
I'm really impressed with the breadth and depth of AWS data solutions. We've covered so much ground, from intelligent search and visual analysis to natural language processing, document extraction, speech synthesis, personalized recommendations, and now predictive analytics.
And we haven't even touched on everything. AWS is constantly innovating and expanding its offerings. It's an exciting time to be working with data.
Well, I'm feeling inspired and a little overwhelmed by all the possibilities. But in a good way, I can't wait to see how businesses will use these tools to create amazing new products and services.
Me too. The future of data is bright, and AWS is lighting the way.
Welcome back to the deep dive. I feel like we've covered a universe of information already, but I know there's still more to explore in the AWS galaxy of data solutions.
You're right, we've barely scratched the surface. And that's what's so exciting about this field. It's constantly evolving with new tools and possibilities emerging all the time.
Well, I'm ready for the next adventure. What else do you have in store for us?
Let's talk about a challenge that's close to my heart, making data work for you, not the other way around. We've talked about tools for searching, analyzing, understanding, but what about putting all those insights into action?
Okay, I like where this is going. We've got all this data, we've extracted meaning from it now. How do we turn it into something that actually drives business decisions?
Exactly. And this is where the lines start to blur between different AWS services. It's not just about using one tool in isolation, but about building intelligent workflows that connect the dots.
Give me an example. How could a company combine these different AWS solutions to solve a real-world problem?
Let's say you're a software architect building a customer support platform. You could use Amazon Kendra to power an intelligent search function so your support agents can quickly find relevant documentation and past case studies.
Okay, that makes sense.
But you could go further. You could integrate Amazon Transcribe to automatically transcribe customer calls and then use Amazon Comprehend to analyze the sentiment and key themes in those calls.
So you get real-time insights into what customers are saying, what issues they're facing, and how they're feeling about the support experience.
Exactly. And you could feed that data back into Kendra to improve the search results or use it to identify trends and areas where your support processes could be improved.
That's a powerful example of how these tools can work together,
It's like,
creating a closed loop of continuous improvement.
and that's just one scenario. The possibilities are endless. You could integrate Amazon Recognition to analyze images uploaded by customers, use Amazon Personalize to tailor the support experience to each individual user, or even use Amazon Forecast to predict future support volumes and staff accordingly.
It's starting to feel like there's an AWS solution for almost every data challenge imaginable.
There probably is. But the key takeaway here is that it's not just about the individual tools, but about how you connect them to create intelligent, data-driven workflows that solve real business problems.
That's a great point. It's not about chasing the shiniest new technology, but about understanding your business needs and then finding the right combination of tools to meet those needs.
Exactly. And that's where the role of a software architect or a data scientist becomes crucial. You need someone who understands the big picture and can orchestrate these different services to create a cohesive solution.
This has been an incredible journey. We've gone from the basics of intelligent search to the complexities of predictive analytics, and we've seen how AWS is empowering businesses to unlock the true potential of their data.
And this is just the beginning. The world of data is constantly evolving, and AWS is at the forefront of that evolution.
Well, folks, that's a wrap for our deep dive into the world of AWS data solutions. We hope you've gained some valuable insights and are feeling inspired to explore the possibilities further.
Remember, the power to transform your business with data is within your reach. With AWS, the future is yours to create.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep innovating.